Hello, everyone, and welcome to Six Figure Souls, Doing Good and Making Money, the weekly podcasting highlighting soul-aligned entrepreneurs that have followed their passion and created businesses in alignment with who they are. This is a very special season 8 where I'm highlighting the members of the Natural Life Business Partnership and the Soul Professional Society. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Claudia LLC. She is a national board certified health and wellness coach, and she is joining us today. Thank you, Claudia, for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Camille.
You are welcome. Thanks for being a part of the show. So you've been a part of NLBP probably 2 years. I've known you, maybe 3 years. Yeah, and I've seen you and your business grow during that time.
Yes.
I also want to mention that Claudia was a co-author in both of our first and second books in the Ultimate Guide series, and has absolutely such an inspiring story and amazing chapters. So I would encourage you to read about her story. So I want to talk a little bit, or at least start off with what you do. Now, I know when people say health and wellness coach, it's it could be nutrition, it could be your body, it could be kind of all over the place. So tell us a little bit about you and your work, and where you focus the most.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
The book's coach, that was really a great experience, and something I never thought I would do. And it's been very rewarding, and I met so many nice people. It was a great experience. I could just recommend it to anybody who has ever get the opportunity to be part of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what's a health and wellness coach? I think that there's many coaches out there, and they do all different kinds of things. And my focus really is brain health. But for a lot of people that don't even know that they need or have brain health issues, it's
right.
Kind of shows in like not being able to follow through, or negative thoughts, or kind of poor time management, and then just really underachieve and be unhappy. And mainly these people are my age, in the 50s, and they just feel like they don't accomplish anything or don't get where they want to go. And then it usually there's a part of it sometimes that it's undiagnosed ADHD, and it can show up in having poor relationships because we don't show up the way we want to show up, or we have impulse control issues, and things like that. So that's my focus, but it's not everybody is dealing with this, but somehow that's who I attract, and I feel like that's who I help best, because I understand, I can relate.
Yeah. Well, I know why you attract it is because you went through it yourself, because I've read your chapters.
It's like from like on the sad side, being suicidal. Like that was my first chapter. And then the next part was like frying my phone because I can't focus, right? Like I put my phone in the microwave. That was, I think, the opener of my last chapter. And that's not good.
Yeah, but you experiencing it helps you help your clients, right? Because I always say we attract who we are, or even who we used to be, because now we have the tools to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So I know you have clients all over the world, because you're kind of like half living in the United States, half living in Switzerland.
Never thought I'd say that, but yes, we are. It's really fun.
Yeah. And you also run your own organization. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I took over a company that's called Virtual Health Coaches, and it's a group of either board certified health and wellness coaches, or coaches that are preparing for the board exam. And we're helping each other to grow our business. We help each other talk about like clients in a way that, the way we should, not with names or anything like this, but just help each other be better coaches, and help each other to take care of ourselves as coaches, sharpen our coaching skills. And it's a great community. We're always looking for more members. There's a free membership to start. And then what we want to build on next year is our directory, because we get some people can find, or health seekers can find a health coach that is a good fit for them. So yeah, that's a great venture too.
Yeah. Let's talk about what's the difference, do you think, between being board certified and just being a health coach? Because there's a lot of health coaches out there. And I think it's important when people see these letters after your name, that what designates a board certified health and wellness coach and why they would look for one.
Yeah, so first, a board certified health and wellness coach has to have a basic education about health and wellness coaching, and you can look up, there's different ways you can get that. I personally went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition for 1 year, and then I got a few other courses that I did there, gut health, hormone health, and advanced coaching and things like that. And then you have to sign up for like a bridge program, they call it. And it really prepares you. I think it's a 12-week program that prepares you to sit for the board exam.
Oh.
And then you really are kind of on your own to study for it. But it is not easy. And it is like you're taking the board exam together with people that are pharmacists or, things like that. You're behind your screen exam. But it's a lot about truly understand coaching. You're taught how to coach, what to ask, and to be really mindful of, when you can start doing damage. And a simple thing that will always stick with me, which was one of my questions in one of the courses that prep you for the board exam. It was like, you cannot ask why. You cannot ask anybody why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't understand. Like, why can I not ask that? It's like we ask how and what questions. And then I was like, I don't get it. Tell me.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if somebody asks you, why are you doing this? You already feel defensive. You feel like you did something wrong. And I have to tell you, like, even just that single piece changed my relationships with my kids. It changed my relationship with my husband, because if you ask, like, can you help me understand, what makes you do this? Or can you just takes the tension out. So you learn a lot about these kind of things to really ask the right questions.
I just learned.
Yeah. Like
I never thought of that, but yeah.
And then there's a big piece is ethics, where I really think a regular health and wellness coach does not understand, the big part of ethics to be behind that. And I think if you want to work in a medical field with a doctor or something like that, then they know that you have the education to fit into like a setting like this.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think we have a lot of, it takes a lot to stay in our lane. Like we're very, like, in a way you could say our hands are much more tied with what we can do, but I think it definitely up levels the coaching experience for the people that work with us, because we really understand, we're not just like, we understand that they're client centered, right? It's all about our clients. It's not me trying to tell them what I have to do.
Right.
So I think it's definitely has up-leveled my coaching, and it has helped in my personal relationships too, just like I said.
Yeah, wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about your focus on brain health and how that looks like in your practice. What type of person would be like your ideal client? Like, what are they saying to themselves? Like, oh, I need to go get help with this.
I think, and before we close out, I want to just tell you, I just finished a Havening practitioner course. Finally, like, it took me 2 years because of the move and everything, which I think is a really important piece for brain health. Okay. And I can talk a little bit more about that later, but I'm not saying that depression isn't a real thing. Like, a lot of us have expressed depression or experienced depression, but for example, if somebody is undiagnosed with ADHD or ADD, depression is a symptom, right? Like, where we just don't achieve. We feel misunderstood. We feel alone. We tell ourselves we never accomplish anything. We're always late. And then that makes us depressed. And then sometimes depression is what gets addressed. But when we dig a little bit deeper, it could be undiagnosed ADHD, for example. But to answer your question, it is just like like feeling like you lose your mind. Like, how is it that everybody else seems to have their stuff together and I just can't do it? Like, but like I said, I'm late, or I'm not able to, I never pay my bills on time, or I never lose this weight, right? A lot of times it is the weight. And the weight,
Right.
as much as we don't want it to be something that is such a big deal, it is. If we struggle with weight, and we stand on that scale every day, it is a reflection of our actions.
Yeah.
And when you have ADHD or something, your actions are inconsistent by definition. So it shows on the scale, for example, but then you feel like you just do a weight loss program, but that's not
Underlying cause.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So do you help them more with nutrition, or how they judge everything around them? Like their time and tasks?
Well, first off, like it's probably like this, many coaches would tell you that, right? Like you there's something that makes people pick up the phone or reach out to you, and that's the big thing that they want to first talk about. But overall, at the end of a coaching experience with me, like, you're definitely addressing mindset, you're addressing how you manage your time, you're addressing relationships, you're addressing your food. But the biggest piece, I think, is really addressing the entire day. Like, I want to see how people's days look like, and where can we fit in some of these habits that they need to, be it working out or food or mindset or meditation or anything like that, with something that's already structured, especially for people that are struggling maintaining a routine. We have to find out certain cornerstones in their days that are already set. For example, like if somebody gets up and goes and gets a coffee in the morning, and they just seem to never be able to get their supplements in, we leave the coffee.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's the easiest way for them to get traction. And for a lot of people, it's like, once they get traction and see, like, I finally do one thing every day,
Right.
like for the entire week, that there's hope. And I think for people that are either diagnosed or undiagnosed with ADHD or ADD, they're hopeless, because you just have tried everything and you can't ever make anything stick. Right. So that's yeah. So nutrition is definitely part of it, but typically it's more to be off and on that wagon the entire time. That's so exhausting, because what's healthy, you could look this up on Google. That's not really, it's to have somebody with you that is trying to keep you on track.
Oh,
Right.
I like that. So it's like accountability.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you've heard me say this many times, like, I know how to thrive, and I have now people in my life that help me, and it's creating a narrow line and very high walls. Then I'm good. If if I know where I want to go and I have something in place that keeps me in that lane, then I thrive.
I like that. Narrow lane, high walls.
Yeah.
So we said, I like that. I like that.
And I know who I know who I need in my life to stay and that's the other thing. Like, life, I feel like, is a team sport. You've heard me say this too before, probably, but we need to really understand what it is that we bring to the table for other people.
Yeah.
And not try to give something we don't have, but also from other people to not expect that they give something to you just because you need it, if that's something that they don't have.
Yep.
But respect others and see what they can bring to the table, what you can bring to the table, and put your A team together and let people show their gifts, and take them for what, embrace those, but don't expect things that they don't have to give.
Yeah. I think that is the best advice out there. I'm more of a group community collaborator, like, and I do it in my personal life as well as my professional life, that I know I don't have all the answers, but I surround myself with people that might, right? And really try to be accepting of people wherever they are, and know that we all need each other. Like, sometimes I'm the student and sometimes I'm the master, and it's all okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And never to give from an empty cup. That took, I think, as a parent, I overgave and overgave and overgave. And that's where burnout comes from, right? and I forgot to always fill my cup first. Right? It's just like on
So
a
hard.
plane, you know, take care of put on your own mask before you help others, right? It's
I
always,
never like I always thought that that's really wrong, right? But it's so true. And I
yeah,
think, and maybe it's the age, right? Like where we're like finally getting it. And but then it's interesting how much better we show up for everybody else.
yes,
If we do.
absolutely. But I think it's also the idea, it took me to maybe 2 years ago to really accept help. And that was my word of the year, because at NLBP, we always choose a word of the year. And 2 years
I
ago,
love
it was
that.
help.
Yes.
Because I had trouble accepting help. I had trouble asking for help. And I spent a whole year working on the word help. You know, and really being in receiving mode. And I'm still in a place where I'm reminding myself to receive. It's okay. You do not have to control every situation, you know, and that's many, many years in the making, but I'm still working on it. Everyone's still working on wherever they are. Right.
Right.
But, you know, that I do not have to save everybody. Right. It is not my job.
But
And
I
even
think
if people ask for help, it doesn't mean that I should be saying yes.
that's
Right.
also very.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of knowing your, like, high walls. That's why I love that analogy. And, you know, what can I give? But I am very giving. I want to give. I want to help. But I can't sacrifice myself in the process. And, but I love what you say about surrounding yourself with community and people that are all helping you, and to control your expectations of others, right? Because anyone can only do things from their own perspective.
Oh, that's so true. That's
Yeah.
like a whole other, that would be a whole other episode. But I that's something I feel like I'm just realizing you never know. There's something when you see a fact, right? There's so many ways to look at this.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to let people see it the way they experiencing it, but be open to say, okay, show me what you see before you judge, right? Like that's like a huge thing for me too, is to trading in curiosity for judgment, right?
Oh,
Like
I
just
like that.
kind
Yeah.
of like this try, because that's how we operate. We're like, everything needs a place, right? It's somewhere, and then you unknowingly you judge to make
Yeah.
it fit somewhere where you know where it goes. But
Yes. Yeah.
it doesn't work that way. It's just so quickly comes with misunderstandings and resentment, and so to just be trading that in for being curious, I think is
I
just
love
so
that. Be
helped me
curious.
a lot. Yeah.
Just be curious. Figure it out. Yeah. And I think not being attached to outcomes has been a game changer.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yes,
that's
I love
so
that.
hard, by the way. Not
Yeah, because
easy.
because we grow up as to try to achieve, or
Mhm.
which is another word I'm actually not really being mindful, not using, is I think once
What word?
I
What word?
trying
Trying?
trying.
Oh, trying. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
trying. Yes. Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel like for a specific cause now in my life, that was kind of like hanging over my head. I was trying to make a decision, but when you realize the power of actually just deciding, whatever that might be, it just takes off such a weight of our shoulders. And I think to really, in my next year, so the next year, I think I want to even be more mindful of what are the things that are weighing on me, or taking my energy, that I'm avoiding to make a decision on.
Yeah.
And I think once that's, and I'm sure you can relate with your house, right? Like once you decide, the things start falling into place. But the it's like when we keep saying, oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. It really, you're not saying anything. But once you say, I decided to, or I will do X, Y, and Z, your whole being moves into that direction. And
Yes.
the universe is going to follow.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that's a word that I am very mindful when I hear people say, or even in coaching, like I'm trying to do this. And I, in a nice way, it's like challenging my clients that you're not going to go anywhere as long as you try.
Yeah.
What would you need to be able to make that decision to just do it?
Yeah. I love
I
that.
love it. I love that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
I
love
love
that.
it. what I just said before, quick, with the havening, to give me this one other tool that I feel like I can help people make more progress faster.
Tell us about that and what that is.
Havening is the one thing that has helped me with my emotional trauma. Like, I've tried therapy, and I'm not saying that therapy isn't a good thing. It's just for me, it was, I wasn't able to get past certain things. And havening has helped me overcome trauma and other things. Like, it's a psychosensory touch therapy. And you do it by yourself, but it's guided. Like, I would talk my clients through this. And that touch, the havening touch, which typically is from your shoulders down and over your face or like this, is creating delta waves that is just, through a guided havening session, really can eliminate phobias, anxiety, test anxiety. It doesn't cure ADHD, but it just really takes the edge off of it, like, because you start seeing potential outcomes in a much deeper way. So and obviously, like I said, helps with PTSD and things like that. So I'm excited. I worked 2 years on this. So finally, I have it under my belt since last week.
Very nice. Congratulations on that. Yeah, I'm really not familiar with it. So yeah. And you say it's something that someone does on themselves. But you got them.
When there's people that do, like, where a havening practitioner touches you, but it's not necessarily like I didn't, I needed to do 30 study cases. Is that what you call them? Case studies.
Case studies.
And it always was virtual. Like, it's virtual. Most people use it virtually. Yes, you will do the havening touch, and then it brings that your brain, and almost like delta waves cause you to almost be like a deep sleep state, but it's not you're not hypnotized, but it's a very calming brainwave. It's the calmest brainwave there is. And so it takes out, like, it just makes your brain calm, and then you can, like, form a new landscape for your brain. It's very powerful. My mentor, this is the last thing I'll say, my mentor, she was in the 9/11 towers when she was pregnant, and then she was in the train crash, was it Hoboken or Secaucus, I forget, like a few years after. And like, she got triggered just by blue sky, from when 9/11 was a beautiful day. So, and she was, after those two back to back. Sometimes we have something traumatic and we'll overcome it or just put it under the rug, and then something else happens, and then both together just blow up. So in her case, it was that way. And then she was totally paralyzed, and she was a lawyer, I think, in the stock exchange. I'm not 100% sure, but she was a very driven woman, and she just was paralyzed after that. So, and hate was the thing that helped her too. So
incredible. Yeah. Wow. I'll have to learn more about that. That sounds incredible. So you do all of this with your clients?
Well, I just did my 30 study cases, because I wasn't certified yet. And now I submitted all my study cases, my recordings, another ethics test and neuroscience exam. And it looks like it's all passed. And so I'm just waiting for my little thing to be framed and hang over my desk, because it was like a long time in the making. But yes, so I've used it just in my study cases and not case study. Sorry.
It's okay. And so will that be a part of your practice with clients, or is that a separate service that you're going to be offering?
I mean, there might be people that it's just only havening, because that typically, if we get to the core of the issue, it could be done in 1 or 2 sessions, and then you're free of your trauma. But there is a part where it would fit in nicely into coaching. Like, if somebody works with me for 90 days, eventually there's trauma coming up, or and then that would be good to add, which before I just didn't have that tool. And I think that's a little tricky with board certified health and wellness coaches. Our hands are so tied that if we don't have any other certifications, we really should be staying away from, certain things like depression and trauma. But I feel like this is now giving me a tool to still, to still be able to help, which is great.
Yeah, nice. So, Claudia, tell us, do you have anything coming up in the new year that people can take advantage of?
Well, I kind of stopped taking a lot of clients because there was just so much going on. But yeah, starting in January, I open up my calendar for both people in Switzerland and also here in the US, and I just reach out to see how we can work together, if it be just for 4 sessions or 12 sessions or whatever it might be, or one evening session.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And is there anything you want to let the audience know that I forgot to ask or we didn't talk about?
No, not really. But I think, as always, I feel like a new year is always a new beginning. So always a new month or a new
Agreed.
day or a new week, whatever. But I think, just thrive and decide to thrive and just take help and give what you have to give your gifts to make others people shine. So
I love it. Claudia, how can people get in touch with you or learn more about your work?
My website is Vibrant Health by Claudia, and then there's probably find everything you need to know, or just reach out on my via email. That's Claudia@vibrant.healthbyclaudia.com.
So,
thank you so much for having me.
Say the website one more time.
VibrantHealthbyClaudia.com.
VibrantHealthbyClaudia.com. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, Claudia, thank you so much for being a part of our show today.
Thank you very much for having me, Camille.
All right. And thank you, our listeners, for taking the time to listen to this podcast. If you'd like to learn more about the Soul Professional movement, you can go to soulprofessional.com. Join us for a meet and greet, some free networking, and really be a part of a community that cares about what you're bringing to the world. If you live in a higher vibration, have an alternative approach to business, and are here to help repair the world, come learn more about us. Thanks again, Claudia.
Thank you.